can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right?
Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. My name is Waja and welcome back to another video. Today, as you guys tell by the title, we're going to be showing you guys the best 5-star skill level 10 build for a striker on pro clubs on FIFA 22. Because of this guy, shout out to Habibi for suggesting this video. You're a legend. But before we jump straight into it, if you guys are new around here, be sure to click that subscribe button, because we're on the road to 5k subs and we'd really appreciate if we can hit it, and drop a like in the video if you do enjoy. And also comment down below more video ideas that you want to suggest. Maybe you could be featured in a video like this. And now let's jump straight into the build. As you can see, we're currently on pro clubs. This is the build right in front of you guys, and yeah, we're just going to dive right into it. We're going to show you guys the profile, then the perks, then the attributes. And yeah, so the first thing we have is we have the player style, which is 3. This is the build for 5-star skillers, you know what I'm saying. Position striker, you could also do cam if you want, but this is preferably a striker build. 5'4", 5'5", 5'6" is the best height for a striker, because you just want the pace realistically. And honestly, this build doesn't really matter about pace, it matters more about the skilling and the shooting aspect. So yeah, just bear that in mind for a level 10. You could increase or decrease the weight, up to you. I just done 176 pounds because it just worked for me, and preferred foot is left or right. Like I said, it's up to you. I tend to do right, but I also do left, you know, but it all really depends on what you're comfortable with. Before I dive right into it, you can't see this, but behind my webcam it says 2 skill points available. I'm currently level 11. That's why I have 2 available skill points. But when you guys do this build and you're level 10, it will max out everything. It will just literally max out. There will be no skill points available for you guys, because there's only 47 skill points available. So yeah, moving on to the perks. The first one we went with is the distance shooter. Distance shooter allows you finesse shots outside the foot shot, and 5-star weak foot. As a striker, you want to make sure you guys are shooting many times as possible. You guys want to make sure that you guys are clinical finishing. You want to be that nuisance to defense where you could just shoot anywhere and it could potentially go in, and this is what distance shooter does for you. So that's why I went with that. Number 2, I went with skill dribbler. Skill dribbler, it says it in the name, it grants you flair trait. It increases the player's dribbling, and on top of that, it grants you more skill move stuff. But you don't really need the extra skill moves, you just need that little 2-2 dribbling, you know what I'm saying? Because dribbling in this game is very important, and if you use it correctly, you could go ahead and score more than, I don't know, God knows, 100 goals in like 10 games probably. Maybe I'm waffling there, but yeah, if you do want to try a different, instead of skill dribbler, because obviously we have the skill moves already 5-star, I recommend you guys doing active first touch or the assist streak. Obviously this build is more like a center forward type. It's not really a striker clinical finisher one. There's a clinical finishing striker build down in the description, or there'll be an eye up here where you guys can go check that out. This one's more of like a center forward where you could get assists more, but like I said, for me personally, I've scored quite a few goals with this, and more goals than assists. So it's really up to you depending on how you play your striker. You could use one of these perks here. And yeah, now moving on to the build itself, the skill points section, the attribute section. First part we have is physical. We've used strength, stamina, and reactions. As you can see, we want to make sure that we have 90 reactions so we can intercept as much as possible. Strength, in this case, I'm sorry, we're 5'4", we can't really, if we have reactions we could intercept, but the strength wise, their pace helps run away from those situations. So yeah, you want to make sure they have the most stamina possible, even though it's 67. Yeah, personally the stamina didn't really affect when I was playing, because I was majority of the time waiting for the ball and not really running around the whole pitch getting rid of my stamina. So yeah, just consume your stamina as much as possible in this build. Defense, we have nothing. Defending, we have nothing. Dribbling, we have quite a few things. As you can see, first one is skill moves, and the second skill moves is right here. So this grants you 5-star skill moves. The dribbling itself, as you can see, we have 89 dribbling, 78 balance, 86 ball control, 80 balancing, etc, etc. The list goes on. As you can see, it's not really a striker clinical build, because you're more dribbling than actually shooting. Obviously as a striker you want to make sure you get the most shots going, but yeah, this grants you both skill points. This part grants you both skill moves, 5-star So make sure you guys have this. And honestly, when I say it's so much fun dribbling as a striker, you're literally turning into mini Messi with this build. I'm not even capping. Next up we have is passing. Now passing, obviously I didn't put anything because you're not really passing much as a striker, but at the same time you are doing more short passes, and as you can see, you don't really need to pass, if that makes sense. You've already got 70 crossing, you've got 82 curve, you've got short passes which is 80. You don't really need that, because as a striker you're more short passing than actually pinging it on the other side of the pitch. So yeah, that's why I really didn't bother with passing. Next up we have shooting. We didn't go for the left side, which is the free kick x3 and the penalty shooting section, and then more headers stuff, because we don't really need to header. A 5'4" player is not going to win a header. All right, simple as that. So then we went with this side. As you can see, finishing volleys 87, 92 finishing. Like, could tell 87 long shots. You could tell that the build itself, you could tell in the game when you're shooting that this guy is clinical when it comes to finishing and dribbling, of course. And yeah, that's enough said. Make sure you guys have this all done or ticked off, if that makes sense. And yeah, and mate, you know what, 77 heading accuracy isn't too bad. So yeah, 5'4", you know, maybe once in a blue moon you could get a header. So yeah. And then finally we have acceleration, we have pace. I obviously, in this build, you don't need to do archetypes because they're an extra 10, and you don't really need to waste your 10 or so points on these archetypes when it's not really necessary. We have 88 acceleration and 83 sprint speed. You may be wondering, is that really bad? Not really, because the dribbling makes up for it. So this build with acceleration and pace and in general, yes, it might be low on the paper, but in game it feels good because the dribbling boosts the pace in a sense. Yeah, I don't know, you guys have to try this build out for yourself to understand what I'm trying to say. But when it comes to dribbling, it makes the player feel more elegant, it makes the player feel more quicker. And as you got reactions as 90, bro, you're out here literally running around the whole defense. And yeah, that's that. And finally, goalkeeping, you don't really need to. Personally, are you a goalkeeper when you're a striker? It doesn't matter. I don't know why they have this option when you're doing the attributes. It should just be for the goalkeeper section. And the outcome for this build will give you 84 overall. So yeah, that's a nice little bonus. Being a boy, Waja, keep smiling, be yourself, and stay awesome. Subscribe if you're new. Comment down below what other builds you guys want me to do. I'll happily help. And yeah, you guys could probably feature in a video. And yeah, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Adios.
That's a deal, right? Ay, 12 can't really stop shit, so I'm still pushing like a mosh pit. Ice dripping, think I'm hot shit. In a yellow bucket with the mop stick. I've been jugging jams like wholesale. Everything must go sell.